Everyone, Temporal here, and today we are covering some of the recent Overwatch 2 news. Specifically, we got a look into the ping system yesterday. We got an update to what that means today, as there was some misunderstanding over how well this ping system tracked people when they left other people's line of sight. Was it tied to someone leaving the pinger's line of sight? Was it tied to each individual person's line of sight? There was some confusion around that, which they've now clarified. And then we also got a little update for contenders in that, yes, we knew what was already happening in 2022, but yes, it will in fact be on Overwatch 2. Bit more data there, though honestly, the contenders info it leaves more questions than it does answers. Now, let's do a brief introduction of what's being covered in the ping system here. So they've added a ping system, and the easiest way to see this is probably with the visual examples. You can pin places for fallback, where someone might want to fall back to, that sort of thing going in. So some of this is similar to what we have, but it's putting actual pings on the ground. That's a pretty standard ping system. I'm not too worried about that. You can ping some of these locations where you want. In this one, you can see that they pinged attacking. You can see the attacking mark there, and they pinged that they want to attack this spot. There's no one there for them to attack, so maybe it's a little silly that they did that, but that is something they can do. Okay. And then we move on, and they have, this is what's more controversial in my mind. We have the ability to go, hey, we can ping an enemy, and if that enemy doesn't use anything that causes it to fall off, like Shadow Step or Recall, it's on them. And it's going to stay on them until they break line of sight. So we've since gotten our update to this ping system, and the update, or our explanation of the update, of this ping is going to show like this, where we see this, little faceplate above Reaper here, for you who have pinged him and any of your teammates that can currently see him until they can no longer see him. If they can't see him, or once they can no longer see him because he closes the angle or whatever, it's instead going to fall off, and the ping is going to become a question mark like we have here with their last known location. But it's not tracking that for the person who pinged, it's tracking that for each person individually. So of the 5 people on your team, if you're in a situation where Reaper closes the angle on 2 of you, maybe you ping him as Sombra. That's the example that they use, and it probably matters. And let's get a Reaper here, and the Reaper gets a ping, so let's give him a ping. Okay, that makes sense. I'm not drawing that in a good spot. I apologize. Let's say that you've got Reaper, who's here. You're Sombra. You hit him with a ping, so now he's got this Reaper portrait above him. We'll do that since it's kind of a circle like they have there. And now, let's say you do have additional teammates. Maybe you have a Zen, maybe you have a BAP, maybe you have, I don't know, a Mei, since that's in the example, and then maybe you also have a Winston way over here. Well, it turns out if cover closes like this against these two, you as Sombra are going to continue to see your ping, continue to have this thing here where we see it 6 meters above Space Pant's face in the picture, whereas your Zen and Winston are going to have this question mark version. They're going to have this question mark version that was either, where you pinged or the last place they saw. If the Reaper himself moved behind the cover, it would fall off here at the corner. If you pinged him, it would just sort of be like, hey, this is where Sombra last pinged Reaper, but it's not going to continue to update and follow him until Sombra pings him again. And that's where it gets a little interesting, in my opinion. You don't really know when it's fallen off. If you're the Sombra who pinged the Reaper, you don't know that your Zen and Winston can't see it anymore if Reaper went behind cover. Like, I think it's good that it falls off when Reaper goes behind cover, but I'm not convinced it should be this sticky at all, truth be told. It's not like the worst thing in the world. I don't hate it, but what do sticky pings mean? What does that mean for you? Well, people can just go behind cover and drop it off, or drop it off for most of the people. So what does that mean? Well, it potentially makes focus fire easier. I don't know that people will actually follow it, but it does potentially make focus fire easier. Like if you're Zenyatta and you just bind your ping button to your Discord orb, this is a little more obvious than a Discord orb. What's going on here? Of like, hey, maybe it won't be once a bunch of people are pinging and like 3 different targets are marked, but this seems more obvious than a Discord orb. And that seems like something of, hey, do we really do we really want that? Do we really want it to be that easy to follow someone? It's not the worst thing in the world. You could be shouting Reaper, 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 but do we want that extra visibility for someone that's pinged like that? And then we run into very similar stuff when it comes down to, hey, we're setting up a dive. We're battling, we're staging for a space around the map. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic? And we can really mark exactly what we want. And it's not, oh, I call Anna and someone isn't really clear where the Anna is. Someone that wanted to go in is like, I think I know where the Anna is, but I don't really know. No, you dropped a ping for them. And maybe that's okay, but it really probably makes dives more powerful. It makes focus fire more powerful. It makes Discord more powerful. And I don't really know that we really need that. It probably even does a better job of marking people who peek when, hey, there's a sniper that's potentially going to peek, and they instantly get marked, they instantly get remarked, whatever, and everyone's more aware of them, as opposed to saying, watch out for Widow, took too long, Widow's peeking, that sort of thing. Those voice lines were longer. So, I have to say, I'm okay with the ping system. I'm not in love with it. I think the decisions of what info we have and haven't gotten, like anytime they call something a quality of life improvement like this, is sort of like, no, this does things that you couldn't do before. This makes it more obvious that this marks someone, this tracks them until they leave cover. This is a power upgrade, and it's a power upgrade that's going to help characters like Sombra more, help characters like Zenyatta more, help characters like Divers more potentially, whereas it's going to be less helpful or hurt maybe some of those poke heroes who would like to not instantly be shown up, or some of those flankers who would like to not have dives marked on them quite as easily. So is it like massively, oh, this is some 40% swing? No, absolutely not. This is not the end of the world, and I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I come in a place of, if you'd just given us pings, I'd have said, yeah, that's fine. I'd have just done away with this sticky ping thing that like sort of follows them, but only for people who can still see them. I'd have done away with that completely. If you want to ping something, ping something. And, it doesn't even have to be what the PRO is. It can just be a ping. And if you want to have like 4 different types of pings for, attacking, focus fire, fall back, whatever, that's fine. Need help, you can have different sort of pings. That's okay with me. But I would personally have said no to these sticky pings. But I'm curious what you guys think. If we head over to the other update we have, this is just a minor update. What's in store for the Path to Pro in 2022? It's a little weird in terms of what they've told us. I'll read it. It's a short one. We're just weeks away from the start of the 2022 Overwatch League season, which will feature Overwatch 2 PvP gameplay, a new hero in Sojourn, the push game mode, and new maps. And guess what? The excitement won't be contained to just the Overwatch League. Overwatch Contenders is returning soon, and we're excited to share some preliminary details with the community. Okay, so all Global Contenders competition will take place on an early build of Overwatch 2 PvP. Fine. Prime opportunity to open up the ecosystem. We want to give more players a chance to compete by enabling both returning and new players to participate. So when is it happening? Because you say, hey, this is happening. Contenders is returning soon. That's a little surprising because you're saying you're opening it up to new players to participate, but it's going to be on Overwatch 2. And we don't have Overwatch 2 access yet. So will only the beta players have access? Will a later, more open beta be what it's played on? How soon is this happening, and how soon are we getting another beta? We already know that there will be multiple rounds of beta, but how soon are we getting another beta, and will it be a totally open beta? Or will this be, okay, anyone can participate, but you have to have been randomly selected for the beta? And I expect the betas will get bigger and bigger in terms of how many people they allow in, but what exactly is going on? It's a real question. In 2022, we're putting closed league plays on hold and making all contenders tournaments shorter with open registration formats like single and double elimination. We hope the open access registration strategy we've laid out for 2022 will be a solid first step in the ecosystem and to turn the page to the next chapter, which sounds sort of like what we're already doing in North America and EU, where we moved away from the, hey, you have 8 or 16 or 12 or whatever teams in the league that got through trials that did that, and they play for a few months, maybe 3 months. That back when I back when I coached in Contenders, that's how it worked. We moved in some of these regions to a place where basically you play for like a weekend or two, and that is the entirety. And then 2 months later, you play for a weekend or two, and you just have mini tournaments. We'd moved to that, and there was some relegation up and down into those tournaments based on how you could do in open division and trial things and things like that. And I think really what's happening here is we're just moving on to other regions like Korea, like China, are going to be brought into this tournament format as opposed to this league season format. Because we can see specific information regarding tournament scheduling, registration, open division, pricing, broadcast, and more will be shared at a later date. So there was some concern of, does this mean that contenders in open division are like fully merged and everyone's in tier 2 now? I don't think so, based on the fact that they put down here open division. I think all that's really being said here is they're trying to say it in a way that doesn't cause too much attention, that we're folding everything into this more tournament model, less league model for contenders. But we don't really know that. No one really knows that. Or some people know that, but we don't have info on what it actually looks like, nor do we have info on when it's actually going to happen. They're saying coming soon, but coming soon would have to mean it's going to be on a beta, but anyone can participate in it. Can anyone really participate in it, or are we getting an open beta super soon? That could be the question. But let me know, guys. Do you like the tournament structure of contenders? What do you think about this ping system? Do you look at the ping system and go, oh, hey, this is great. Overwatch has always needed pings, and sticky pings are fine. I don't know what you're getting a little tepid about, Temporal, where, that's just like, hey, we could already see them. You could have already been shouting Reaper, Reaper, Reaper. You could have already said where the Ana that you wanted to dive was. All of those good things. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. Quick catch up on anything interesting from chat. Sticky pings more like stinky pings. Okay. I like the part of this article. Yeah, that was pretty good. So we'll take a quick look at that. The inspiration behind the ping system came from a value the Overwatch team holds dearly. Every voice matters. Does by every voice matter, do you mean your competitors' ideas, your competitors' voices matter? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Maybe if the ping system is strong, gold players will finally be able to play dive comp. It could make dive easier for ladder, and I like dive. Maybe that would be a good thing. Overall, though, I don't hate this. I don't even strongly dislike this. I'm just a little towards it. Like it for lower ranks, where a lot of people justifiably don't join voice chat because of toxicity. Yeah, but I'm not sure it's going to solve the issue. I think everyone's going to mark their own target and be like, why weren't you shooting my target? Or why didn't you go to my fallback ping? Because your fallback ping was stupid. You having a ping to go fall back to here doesn't change the fact that falling back was the wrong idea and we should instead get staggers, or we should instead go press a forward choke. So now we can aggressively ping at each other. Fall back, attack, fall back, attack, fall back, attack. Okay. But maybe that'll turn into democracy there, where you see 3 pings going forward, 1 ping going back, and 1 person not pinging, and they'll go, oh, okay, I guess I've lost this vote. I don't know. Okay. Trades yesterday and Monkey wasn't in voice chat. It was kind of hard to position myself to dive on the same target he was planning, thinking about. Sure, I get it. Main support should have the ability to have multiple pings. I don't know about that. Opt into the better, for sure. Kind of OP for Widow Battle specifically. Right, for some poke stuff, like, hey, your Sombra is literally just sitting there and spam marking the Widow, and as soon as she peeks, she has a marker on her head that doesn't have a question mark attached to it, or whatever the case may be. That could be a thing. And even if it's not a Sombra doing it, it can just be, oh shoot, the Widow peeked. Everyone is looking to get a ping on her so everyone sees it. Buff dive plus Brig nerf is not a good idea. We'll see. We will see. Okay, that's going to go ahead and do it. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do drop a like, consider subscribing. We will be covering more Overwatch 2 news leading up to it, more analysis as we know more stuff. If you want to check out yesterday's one, we did quite a bit, we spent quite a bit of time analyzing what the meta probably looks like right now. Probably is a strong word. What the meta could look like right now with all the information available to us. Obviously, that's heavily in theory crafting world, but if you like that sort of thing, check it out. Be sure to subscribe subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one.